Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to cover the most important questions of March 2020. Now let's start.
Ritesh Agarwal, who was named as the world's second youngest billionaire, is the founder of which Indian startup company? So, he is the founder of Oyo Hotels, and recently Hurun Global Rich List was released, and as per this list, he is the world's second youngest billionaire, while Ms. Kylie Jenner is the world's youngest billionaire. Which state recently passed resolution to conduct a caste-based census in state? So recently this resolution was passed by the Bihar Legislative Assembly. Bihar was also in news as it passed a resolution to not to implement NRC, that is National Register of Citizens. The Diamond Princess cruise ship, which witnessed the largest coronavirus outbreak, is quarantined in which country? So right answer is Japan. After various passengers and the crew members were diagnosed with the coronavirus infection, this cruise ship has been quarantined in Japan. CARO 2020, which was in news recently, is associated with which field? So it is associated to regulations of companies. Actually recently MCA, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs, notified this company's Auditors Report Order 2020. So the CARO is related to the regulations for companies. The International Conference on Standardization of Diagnosis and Terminologies in Ayurveda, Unani and Siddha Medicines was held in which city? So this event held in New Delhi. It should be noted that after this event, the New Delhi Declaration was adopted, and this declaration is associated to collection and classification of traditional medicine. As of 2020, how many languages in India are given the status of classical language? So there are 6 languages which have received the status of classical language, and these are Tamil, Sanskrit, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam and Odia. So Tamil was the first one to receive classical status and Odia was the last one so far. Which association recently collaborated with NITI Aayog's Atal Innovation Mission to launch artificial intelligence based module for Indian school students? So for this, NASSCOM and Atal Innovation Mission collaborated. If we talk about Atal Innovation Mission, it is an initiative of NITI Aayog. What is the theme of National Science Day? So the theme was Women in Science, and this day is celebrated to commemorate the discovery of Raman effect by Dr. C.V. Raman, and it is celebrated on 28th of February. Theme of this year was Women in Science. The Land Records and Services Index is released by which organization? So recently this was released by National Council of Applied Economic Research. It should be noted that it is a New Delhi based think tank and it was established in 1956. Which Indian payment bank recently crossed a milestone of 2 crore customers? So recently IPPB, that is India Post Payment Bank, achieved this milestone. It should be noted that IPPB was launched by Indian Prime Minister in 2018. Which organization recently offered an indigenous multi-role chopper to Indian Armed Forces? So recently HAL, that is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, offered indigenous multi-role chopper to the Indian Armed Forces. Now it should be noted that HAL is under Defense Ministry. Kaching is co-branded credit card launched by Indigo Airline in collaboration with which bank? So recently this was launched in collaboration with SDFC Bank, and this card will provide various benefits and discounts to the passengers of Indigo. Sumant Katpalia was recently appointed as the CEO of which bank? So recently Mr. Sumant Katpalia was appointed as the Chief Executive of IndusInd Bank, and he will take charge from 24th of March, and he is going to replace Mr. Romesh Sobti. 1000 Springs Initiative, which was recently launched by Union Tribal Affairs Minister Mr. Arjun Munda aims to increase the access of which component? So it is about water, and the main objective of this initiative is to ensure the access to safe and adequate water for tribal communities. Now recently, Mr. Arjun Munda was also in news as he was elected as the president of AAI, that is Archery Association of India. Which state has recently reduced the retirement age of government employees to 58 years? So this decision was taken by the state government of Punjab, and it reduced the retirement age from 60 to 58. The state government also decided to provide free education in government schools to all students up to class 12, which is the first major defense ship to clear all sea acceptance trials in a single sea sortie. So recently, INS Varad became first ship to clear all sea acceptance trials in a single sea sortie, and recently this INS Varad was handed over to Coast Guards by L&T, that is Larsen and Toubro. India's first commercial liquefied compressed natural gas bus was launched in which state? So it was launched in Kerala, and this is the first LNG bus. Apart from that, recently the first electric intercity bus was started in Maharashtra. CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, recently partnered with which power-based company to install air quality monitoring stations? So for this, CPCB and NTPC has collaborated, and the data from these air quality monitoring stations will be used as inputs for AQI, that is Air Quality Index. As per the recent report, which was the leading city in digital transactions in India in 2019? So Bengaluru was the leading city in terms of digital transactions, while Mumbai was on 3rd position, Chennai was on 2nd position, and Pune was on 4th position in terms of digital transactions. The first India Protein Day is celebrated in which year? So this was celebrated in 2020, and it was celebrated on 27th of February, and the theme of this event was Protein Mein Kya Hai? That means what is there in protein. The term delimitation, which was in news recently, is associated with which process? So this term is associated to fixing limitation of territorial constituencies. That means for elections, what is going to be the boundary of a constituency? This is decided by delimitation, and for this purpose there is a delimitation commission. Now recently this topic was in news because government cancelled its earlier notification which postponed the delimitation in Assam, Nagaland, Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh. Previously, government postponed the delimitation in these states for security concerns. Now, government issued a fresh notification and said that now the conditions are normal, therefore the delimitation exercise can be conducted. Which state hiked the local area development fund of MLAs to ₹3 crore per year? So this state is Uttar Pradesh. The previous limit was 2 crore rupee and now it is 3 crore. NITI Aayog has selected which union territory for the first pilot project on Sustainable Development Goals? So it is Jammu and Kashmir, and recently NITI Aayog selected this for the first pilot project on SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals. Now recently NITI Aayog also released SDG India Index, and as per this index, Uttar Pradesh has shown maximum improvement while Bihar was the worst performing state as per this index. On the other hand, Kerala was the top performer and Chandigarh was the top performer in union territories. Which public sector enterprise is the implementing agency of Renewable Energy Management Centre scheme? So right answer is Power Grid Corporation, and recently Union Power Minister Mr. R.K. Singh inaugurated Renewable Energy Management Centres. Now one important fact is that the government had approved the implementation of Renewable Energy Management Centres as central scheme, and this Power Grid Corporation is going to be the implementing authority for this particular initiative. Which Indian city is to host the World Productivity Congress 2020? So, Bengaluru is the host of this particular event, and this event is going to be in India after a gap of 45 years. Now, it should be noted that this World Productivity Congress is being organized since 1969, and this Congress held in India in 1974. Paul Biya, who recently won the presidential elections, is the incumbent president of which African country? So he is the president of Cameroon. It should be noted that Cameroon is a country in Central Africa, and Mr. Paul Biya won the presidential elections recently. Dr. S. Shetter, who passed away recently, was associated to which profession? So he was well-known historian, and he passed away recently. Bundelkhand Expressway, which was in news recently, is proposed to be built across which state? So it is going to be in Uttar Pradesh, and recently Prime Minister Mr. Modi laid the foundation stone for this Bundelkhand Expressway at Chitrakoot. The Prime Minister recently launched 10,000 FPOs all over the country. Now, what is the full form of FPO? It stands for Farmer Produce Organizations. So this FPO scheme was initiated by the Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium, and it is under Ministry of Agriculture. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana is associated with which sector? So it is associated to food processing, and therefore it is going to be implemented by Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Now, what is the meaning of food processing? In simplest term, like from tomato to tomato ketchup is food processing. Similarly, potato to potato chips is an example of food processing. On which date the World Rare Disease Day is celebrated? So this question was already covered in Telegram, and the answer is 29th of February. And the theme of this year's World Rare Disease Day was Reframe Rare for Rare Disease. Indian Railways recently launched first restaurant on wheels at Asansol railway station. Now the question is, this station is located in which state? So it is located in state of West Bengal, and this is India's first restaurant on wheels. So this restaurant is to serve both passengers as well as to the general public. India is to partner with which country in the implementation of Purvodaya'scheme? So India and Japan are going to collaborate for this particular scheme, and this scheme is related to the development of steel sector in eastern India. It should be noted that the present Minister of Steel is Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, and for this initiative India has partnered with the NITI of Japan. The biggest explosion seen in the universe since the Big Bang have recently been discovered using Giant Metrewave Radio Telescope. Now the question is, where is the GMRT located? So this GMRT is located in Pune. Pune is in Maharashtra, and actually this GMRT is operated by the National Centre for Radio Astrophysics. What is the name of first women pediatrician to be elevated to the highest rank of Lieutenant General for Indian Army doctors? So right answer is Dr. Madhuri Kanitkar, and C is the first women pediatrician to be elevated to the highest rank of Lieutenant General for Indian Army doctors. As of 2020, which Indian Finance Minister has presented the maximum number of union budgets? So right answer is former Indian Prime Minister Mr. Morarji Desai. He had presented 10 union budgets. On the other hand, Mr. P. Chidambaram had presented so far 9 union budgets, and Mr. Pranab Mukherjee had presented 8 union budgets. Ajay Tyagi is the chairman of which regulatory body of India? So this is a simple question. Mr. Tyagi is the chairman of SEBI, and recently he was in news because the government has approved a 6-month extension to the present chairman of SEBI. SEBI stands for Securities and Exchange Board of India. Which city hosted the 11th National Krishi Vigyan Kendra Conference? So this conference held in New Delhi, and the Union Agriculture Minister Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar inaugurated this particular event. Now Mr. Tomar is Member of Parliament from Morena. Morena is in Madhya Pradesh. Matt Levatich, who was in news recently, was the CEO of which motorcycle manufacturing company? So he was the CEO of Harley Davidson, and recently he was in news as he stepped down from his post. What is the name of recently launched scheme that aims to provide nutritional support to pregnant women and adolescent girls? So the name of scheme is Suposhit Ma Abhiyan, and recently Lok Sabha Speaker Mr. Om Birla launched this Suposhit Ma Abhiyan, and this scheme was launched in Kota. Environmental activist Afroz Shah, who was making news for co-participating with the Minister of Norway in river cleanup, is from which state? So Afroz Shah is from Maharashtra, and he is a environmental activist from Mumbai, and recently he was in news for the cleanup of Methi River. What is Rider X, which was recently developed by a laboratory of DRDO and Indian Institute of Science? So it is a explosive detection device which was co-developed by the HEMRL and IISc Bengaluru. Now HEMRL stands for High Energy Material Research Laboratory. The proposed Chair of Excellence at Department of Defense and Strategic Studies is to be named after which Indian Air Chief Marshal? So recently, Indian Air Force and Savitribai Phule University signed a memorandum of understanding to set up a Chair of Excellence at Department of Defense and Strategic Studies to commemorate the 100 years of birthday of IAF officer Marshal Arjun Singh. Which state recently ordered the prohibition of online supply of food without hygiene rating from the food business operators? So recently, Punjab was in news because of this particular decision. So now, the food business operators who do not have hygiene ratings from FSSAI will not be able to supply food, and the food aggregators like Zomato will not be able to deliver food from these food sources who do not have hygiene ratings. Mohiuddin Yassin recently sworn in as the new Prime Minister of which country? So he is the new Prime Minister of Malaysia. It should be noted that the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Mahathir Mohamad, stepped down and Mohiuddin Yassin became the new Prime Minister of Malaysia. Capital of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur. When is the Zero Discrimination Day observed across the world? So it is observed on 1st of March, and it is observed by UN AIDS, and the focus of this year Zero Discrimination Day was zero discrimination against women and girls. Which Indian university was the winner of Khelo India University Games 2020? So recently the first edition of Khelo India University Games held in Odisha, and the Punjab University won the highest number of medals in this event, and it was on first position. The Civil Lekha Samman Awards is related to which Indian civil service? So it is related to Indian Civil Accounts Service, and recently the Civil Accounts Day was celebrated on 1st of March, and that is why the Civil Lekha Samman Awards were in news. Heather Watson of UK recently won the women's single title of which tennis tournament? So she won the Mexican Open in women's category. On the other hand, in men's category, Rafael Nadal won the Mexican Open. What is the name of India's former national athletics coach and Dronacharya awardee who passed away recently? So his name is Mr. Jogendra Singh Saini, and he was the athletics coach and he was the Dronacharya award winner. He passed away recently. Which tennis star recently won the Dubai Tennis Championship for the first time since 2013? So Novak Djokovic won it for the first time since 2013, and now Novak Djokovic has won 21 matches consecutively. More Together, a multilingual ad campaign is launched in India by which company? So it has been launched by Facebook, and India is the first country in Asia Pacific in which this ad campaign has been launched by Facebook. Now what is the objective of this ad campaign? The objective of this campaign is to reveal the potential of users about what they can perform by using their contacts on this Facebook platform. And the series of this campaign will be telecasted in 8 languages. Caste is a mutual fund platform of which smartphone manufacturer? Right answer is Oppo. So it is an initiative of mobile manufacturing company Oppo. Oppo is a China-based company and it launched Oppo Cash. So it offers the users to invest in mutual funds. The platform will also provide the free credit reports and personal loans up to 2 lakh rupees. Which international organization released 15 million from its Central Emergency Response Fund to battle outbreak of COVID-19. COVID stands for Coronavirus Disease 2019 and the name was given by WHO, that is World Health Organization. So recently United Nations released 15 million from its CERF to fund the global efforts to tackle coronavirus. What is the theme of World Hearing Day that was observed on 3rd of March? So the theme was Don't Let Hearing Loss Limit You. So it is a day that is celebrated by WHO, that is World Health Organization, and it is observed on 3rd of March. And the theme of this year was Don't Let Hearing Loss Limit You. On which date the World Wildlife Day is celebrated across the world? So it is celebrated on 3rd of March. And the theme of this year World Wildlife Day was Sustain All Life on Earth. Which tri-state sanctuary has been declared as eco-sensitive zone recently? So recently MOEF, that is Ministry of Environment and Forest, issued a notification and declared National Chambal Sanctuary as eco-sensitive zone, and it is located on the tri-junction of 3 states. These are Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, and this sanctuary is home to 75% of ghadials. The exhibition named Ekam Fest is organized by which union ministry? So this event held in New Delhi and it was organized by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Actually it was organized by NHFDC. NHFDC stands for National Handicapped Finance Development Corporation and it is under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. As of March 2020, BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency, has covered how many appliances under star labeling program? So you might have seen those star rating on various equipments. So right answer is 26. Actually BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency, has formulated the star labeling program under Energy Conservation Act and it is an act of 2001. The chairman of Lulu Group, M.A. Yusuf Ali, became the first Indian to receive premium residency of which country? So right answer is Saudi Arabia. And recently Mr. M.A. Yusuf Ali became the first Indian to receive premium residency of Saudi Arabia. Actually it is also known as Saudi Green Card, and this green card grants expatriates the right to live and right to have business as well as right to property in Saudi Arabia without the requirement of sponsor. The mobile application Humsafar is associated to which service? So it is associated to door delivery of fuel, and recently Union Labour Minister Mr. Santosh Gangwar launched this mobile application, and this app is launched with an objective to deliver fuel at doorsteps of housing societies, hotels and hospitals in the National Capital Region. Ramnik Lal Solanki, who was an Order of British Empire awardee, passed away recently. He was associated to which field? So he was associated to journalism and he was the founder editor of Garvi Gujarat, as well as he was associated to Asian Media Group. RBI is conducting 1 year and 3 year tenor LTRO to help banks to reduce their lending rates. So what is the full form of LTRO? LTRO stands for long-term repo operation. So the objective behind this initiative of RBI is to reduce the lending rates of banks. Which state government recently abolished the policy of granting service extension to its employees after retirement? So this state is Punjab, and recently it also decided to reduce the retirement age of employees. So the previous age was 60, now it has been reduced to 58. Mo Sarkar is a service initiative with state government. So it is an initiative of Odisha government, and the objective of this initiative is to provide dignified service to the citizens who come to the government offices. Now, Odisha was also in news as recently first edition of Khelo India University Games held in Odisha, which is the parent agency of NPL, that is National Physical Laboratory, which recently developed a security ink to curb fake printing of currency notes. So this NPL developed security ink, and NPL is a laboratory of CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. So recently NPL developed a security ink which glows in red and green when illuminated by two different sources. So this will help in finding out the fake currency notes. Tasneem Mir and Mansi Singh, who were in news recently, are associated with which sports? So these are associated with badminton, and recently they won the bronze medal in the girls singles event at the Yonex Dutch Junior International Tournament, and this tournament held in Netherlands. Which city is host to the food and hospitality fair Ahar? So New Delhi is the host of this event, and this event is organized by ITPO. ITPO stands for India Trade Promotion Organization. Balbir Singh Khullar, who passed away recently, was the famous personality of which sports? So he was associated to hockey, and he passed away recently. He was from Punjab. Which Chief Minister of Indian State has been conferred with the Dr. Syama Prasad Mukherjee Award 2020 for politics? So recently, the Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Sarbanand Sonowal, was presented this award. Now this award was instituted by India Foundation. The historic city chowk of which Indian state or union territory has been renamed as Bharat Mata Chowk. So it is in Jammu and Kashmir, and it is located in the Jammu. And the starting point of this circular road in the city was named after former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and the name of this circular chowk is Atal Chowk. So this is the name of starting point, and this Bharat Mata Chowk is the new name of city chowk. Which union ministry is the nodal ministry for implementation of e-Vidhan project under Digital India program? So Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs is the nodal ministry for implementing the e-Vidhan project in all states and union territories of our country. Actually, this NEVA, that is National e-Vidhan application, creates a data repository, and it aims to bring all legislatures of our country on a single platform. Who has been appointed as the new Finance Secretary? So recently, Mr. Ajay Bhushan Pandey has been appointed as new Finance Secretary. Previous Finance Secretary was Mr. Rajiv Kumar. It should be noted that a senior most bureaucrat in the Finance Ministry is appointed as the Finance Secretary. What is the time limit within which Lokpal shall dispose of a complaint of corruption against public servant? So recently DOPT, that is Department of Personnel and Training, notified the guidelines for filing complaints with Lokpal, and as per this guidelines, the complaint can be filed in English or in any of the 22 languages mentioned in the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution. Mukhyamantri Dal Bhat Yojana is a subsidized food scheme of which state government? So it is a scheme of Jharkhand government, and as per this scheme, the government has decided to provide a meal at the price of ₹5. Now Jharkhand was also in news as recently Greenpeace released a report, and as per that report, Jharia in Jharkhand is the most polluted city in India. The week of March 1 to March 7 is celebrated as which week across the country? So it is celebrated as Jan Aushadhi Week, and during this week, various Jan Aushadhi Kendra are set up to provide free medicines. It should be noted that there is a scheme related to Jan Aushadhi, and the name of scheme is Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. Which country recently assumed presidency of the United Nations Security Council for March 2020? So recently China became the president of UNSC for March 2020. It should be noted that United Nations Security Council has 5 permanent members, which are known as P5, and 10 non-permanent members, and these non-permanent members are appointed for the term of 2 years, while the permanent members are USA, China, Russia, UK, and France. Which state government has announced to provide the financial assistance to the farmers for keeping stray cattle at their homes. So, to provide shelter to the stray cattle, the state government of Uttar Pradesh has decided to provide the financial support to the farmers. And as per this scheme, Rupee 900 will be provided to the farmers per month so that they can support the stray cattle. Which Indian is the recipient of 128th Commonwealth Points of Light Award? So recently, Jadav Payeng, the Forest Man of India, was named the winner of 128th Commonwealth Points of Light Award. Mr. Jadav Payeng is known as Forest Man because he transformed a treeless sandbar along the Brahmaputra river into a vast wildlife shelter. Which country became the first in world to make public transport free? So, this country is Luxembourg. It is a European country and the capital of this country is Luxembourg City, and it decided to make all type of public transport free. Which country is developing satellite to predict bushfire danger zones? So this country is Australia, and recently it faced the devastation because of bushfires, and now the scientists at Australian National University announced that they are designing the country's first satellite to predict the bushfire danger zones. That means which areas are more prone to bushfire. This can be identified with the help of this particular satellite. India's services sector growth hits 7-year high in February as per recent PMI. Now the question is, what is the full form of PMI? PMI stands for Purchasing Managers Index, and as per this index, the service sector rose for the 5th consecutive month to 57.5. Now, if the score is higher than 50, it shows expansion. If the score is lower than 50, then it shows contraction in that particular sector. The restriction on cryptocurrency trade imposed by RBI was recently lifted by which institution? So, this question was already covered in The Hindu newspaper analysis, so you can watch that video. And right answer is Supreme Court of India. How many questions are to be asked by the central government during the collection of data for census 2021? So right answer is 31 questions. And as per the recent notification from center, it has finalized a set of 31 questions to be asked during the data collection for census 2021. The committee for working out the operational guidelines of Kisan Rail is formed under which union ministry? So right answer is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Now the objective of this Kisan Rail scheme is to set up a national cold supply chain for the transportation of perishable items like meat, milk or fish. And this Kisan Rail will be set up by Indian Railways through public-private partnership. Which payment and fintech company recently received brokerage license from IRDAI? So recently, Paytm received the license from IRDAI. IRDAI stands for Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. Saif Ali Verma, who was making news recently, is a famous personality of which sports? So C is associated to cricket, and C was in news because C was placed in top spot in ICC Women's T20 International Ranking, and C became the second Indian women cricketer after Mithali Raj to occupy the top position in ICC Women's T20 ranking. Which former Indian cricketer has been named as the chairman of National Selection Panel? So CAC of BCCI has named Mr. Sunil Joshi as the chairman of National Selection Panel. CAC stands for Cricket Advisory Committee. Which state recently announced to provide credit guarantee of loans for higher education? So this decision was taken by
Haryana government. Recently, Assam government also started similar scheme, and the name of that scheme was Abhinandan scheme. Which engineering college of India has obtained the highest rank in QS World Ranking? So right answer is IIT Mumbai. IIT Mumbai is the top Indian institute in engineering colleges across the globe. So IIT Mumbai is top in India, while in terms of arts and humanities, JNU, that is Jawaharlal Nehru University, is on top position. After the proposed amalgamation of 10 public sector banks into 4, what will be the total number of state-owned banks in our country? So the bank merger will be effective from 1st of April. And after this process, India will have 12 public sector banks. So right answer is 12. As per the recent Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas bill, what is the time limit within which taxpayers can pay the due tax? So the time limit is 31st of March 2020. It should be noted that it is a direct tax scheme. That means the scheme will be applicable only related to direct taxes, not related to indirect taxes. Sweta Rawat and Shalini Gupta, who were in news recently, are associated to which field? So these two are the DRDO scientists. DRDO stands for Defense Research and Development Organization, and it is under Defense Ministry. Recently, Defense Expo held in Lucknow, and during this expo, the India-African Nations Conclave was organized, and after that, Lucknow Declaration was signed for better cooperation between India and African nations in the field of defense. Which state has recently issued orders to limit the retail price of bottled drinking water? So this state is Kerala, and the state government has decided to set the upper limit of drinking water bottle. That means the upper price limit was set by the state government, and it is rupee 13 per litre. As per the recent amendment to FDI on civil aviation, what is the limit for NRI to purchase equity stakes in Air India? So recently government changed FDI norms in civil aviation sector. The previous FDI limit was 49%. Now it has been increased up to 100% for NRI. So now NRI can buy up to 100% equity stakes in Air India. The integrated sports complex named after Chief Minister Mr. P.A. Sangma is to come up in which Indian state? Right answer is Meghalaya. So this sports complex was in news as the foundation of this complex was set up in Meghalaya. It should be noted that the construction of this complex will be completed by 2022, and in the same year Meghalaya will be the host of National Games. Which city is the venue of India Pharma 2020 and India Medical Device 2020 conference and exhibition that was organized by Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers in association with FICCI? So right answer is Gandhinagar in Gujarat. So this event ended on 7th of March. National Safety Day is observed annually on which date? So it is observed on 4th of March, and the week is observed as National Safety Week, and the theme of this event was Enhance Safety and Health Performance. Which institution has announced a fast-track aid of $12 billion to combat coronavirus outbreak? So recently this was announced by World Bank. Now the president of World Bank is David Malpass, and recently World Bank was also in news as the chief economist of World Bank, Ms. P.K. Goldberg, announced her resignation. Which international institution released a report, A New Era for Girls, taking stock of 25 years of progress? So this report was released by UNICEF, that is United Nations Children's Fund. Javier Perez, who recently passed away, was the former chief of which organization? So he was the former chief of United Nations, and he passed away recently in his native country, Peru. Peru is South American country. Nations present Secretary General is Antonio Guterres. The area of which city of Rajasthan was declared as no construction zone as per the recent Rajasthan Municipality Amendment Bill of 2020? So right answer is Jaipur. So Jaipur was declared as no construction zone. Now it should be noted that UNESCO had mandated to declare Rajasthan as a no construction zone. So this is done to protect and to preserve the heritage and to promote tourism in the state. Denis Samgyal, who was in news recently, has been elected as the Prime Minister of which country? So he has been elected as the Prime Minister of Ukraine. Ukraine was also in news because of Crimea. The President of Ukraine is Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky. The recently released book titled Chronicles of Change Champions is a compilation of initiatives taken under which scheme? So this is related to Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme. And recently, Ms. Smriti Irani, who is a Women and Child Development Minister, released this Chronicles of Change Champions. It should be noted that this Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme was launched by Prime Minister Mr. Modi in 2015 in Panipat in Haryana. SCORES is a mobile application of which regulatory body of India? So it is a mobile application of SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, and it is a mobile application for assisting investors to enter the grievances in SEBI Complaints Redressal System. So the full form of SCORES is SEBI Complaints Redress System. Time magazine has named which Indian women as the Women of Year 1947 in its recent recreated list of world's 100 powerful women? Right answer is Miss Amrit Kaur. So Miss Amrit Kaur, who was a freedom fighter, has been named by the Time magazine as Women of the Year for 1947. Which airport of Maharashtra has been renamed as Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj Airport? So recently, Aurangabad Airport has been renamed as Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj Airport. It should be noted that Chhatrapati Sambhaji was the son of great Maratha warrior Chhatrapati Shivaji. Which Indian institute has developed an artificial intelligence powered drone to counter the unregulated unmanned drones? So this was done by IIT Madras, and with the help of this new system, it can hack into the GPS system of unregulated drones, which are also known as rogue drone. So with the help of system of IIT Madras, the GPS system of unregulated drones can be hacked, and then it can be directed to change the path of that unregulated drone. Which is India's 5th largest private sector bank that is under crisis and for which the Reserve Bank of India is devising a revival plan? So right answer is Yes Bank. And the founder of Yes Bank, Mr. Rana Kapoor, was recently arrested by ED. According to the recent estimates, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which economy is the most affected economy by coronavirus outbreak? So as per the report, EU, that is European Union, is the most affected economy due to coronavirus outbreak, while USA is the second most affected and Japan is the third most affected country. Darren Tang of Singapore has been nominated as the new Director General of which global organization? So he has been named as the new DG of WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization. And Mr. Darren Tang is from Singapore. If we talk about WIPO, it was formed in 1967 and the headquarters of WIPO is in Geneva. Geneva is in Switzerland. Who has been appointed as new Chief Information Commissioner of India after Mr. Sudhir Bhargav? Right answer is Mr. Bimal Julka. So Mr. Bimal Julka has been appointed as new CIC. It should be noted that CIC is the Chief Information Commissioner and he is the head of Central Information Commission. Which leader has been named greatest leader of all time in a poll conducted by BBC World Histories magazine? Right answer is Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So as per this poll conducted by BBC, the 19th century ruler of Sikh Empire in India, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, has been named as the greatest leader of all time? Which Indian business leader received an award for excellence in business by Egypt government at the Women Economic Forum 2020? Right answer is Dr. Beena Modi. She is the chairperson of Modi Enterprises and recently she was awarded at the Women Economic Forum 2020. Google is set to launch its second cloud region in which Indian city? Right answer is Delhi. So this one is going to be the second cloud region in our country. The first one is in Mumbai. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Urban Livelihood Mission recently partnered with which e-commerce company for marketing products of SHG? SHG stands for Self-Help Group. So recently, Amazon partnered with Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Urban Livelihood Mission. And through this partnership, the platform of Amazon will be used for the marketing of products of self-help groups. Which Indian sportsperson has been named Sportsperson of the Year at Times of India Sports Awards? Right answer is PV Sindhu. So, she was named Sportsperson of the Year at Times of India Sports Awards. The recently announced Indo-European Union flagship call is associated with which field? So, it is associated to energy, and recently it was announced by the Secretary of Department of Science and Technology and by the European Ambassador to India. Women Transforming India Awards is instituted by which organization? So, it is instituted by NITI Aayog, and this was presented on the International Women's Day, that means on 8th of March. PEMFC, that is Polymer Electrolyte Membrane Fuel Cells, which was making news recently, is to be deployed in which field? So, it is associated to disaster management, and a research center under Department of Science and Technology has developed this, and it is useful in natural disaster management. Which organization announced a $50 billion package for low-income countries to combat coronavirus outbreak through its rapid disbursing emergency financing facilities? So, right answer is IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. So, the funding amount is $50 billion. Namaste Orcha festival is celebrated in which Indian state? So, it is celebrated in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh was also in news as recently India's first e-waste clinic was set up in Madhya Pradesh, and it is collaboration between Bhopal Municipal Corporation and CPCB. Chapchar Kut is a popular festival of which Indian state or union territory? So, it is a popular festival of Mizoram, and it is celebrated to welcome the spring season. Bipasa Chakrabarti was recently appointed as the Communications Director of which technological company's Indian arm? So, right answer is Facebook India. So, Ms. Bipasa Chakrabarti has been appointed as the Communication Director of Facebook India. In the context of recent Supreme Court ruling on right of an organization to receive foreign contributions, what does FCRA stands for? So, FCRA stands for Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, and recently Supreme Court ruled that an organization supporting the public cause by the legitimate means of opposition like bandh or with the help of hartal cannot be deprived of its right to receive foreign funding. Who is the chairperson of recently reconstituted National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction? Right answer is Union Home Minister. So, Mr. Amit Shah is the chairperson of recently reconstituted National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction. The Ministry of Women and Child Development organized a discussion on the future of work, women in India's workforce, in association with which global organization? So, for this, Ministry of Women and Child Development partnered with the World Bank. Present Minister of Women and Child Development is Ms. Smriti Irani. Her constituency is Amethi. Amethi is in Uttar Pradesh. What is the theme of campaign conducted by Indian Railways to celebrate International Women's Day? So the name of this campaign is Each for Equal. And this campaign started from 1st of March to 10th of March to celebrate the International Women's Day. And International Women's Day is celebrated on 8th of March. And the theme of this campaign is Each for Equal. Which state or union territory has recently launched a school health education plan called Student Health Card? So the name of this union territory is Jammu and Kashmir. So this initiative has been started by the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. What is the profession of Barry John, who is recently selected for the Lifetime Achievement Honor in 2020 Meta Awards? So right answer is Theatre Director. So Mr. Barry John is Theatre Director, and Meta stands for Mahindra Excellence in Theatre Awards. According to the recent study of United Nations Global Compact, India, what is the female labor force participation in our country in 2020? So right answer is 24.8%. So as per the study conducted by UNGC India, the female labor force participation in our country has declined from 34% in 2006 to 24.8% in 2020. What is the rank of India in the Freedom in World 2020 report, which is published by US-based NGO Freedom House? So India's ranking is 83rd. Now this report is published by US-based NGO Freedom House. Which country recently announced an emergency fund of $8.3 billion for tackling the coronavirus outbreak? So this country is USA. Now this outbreak of coronavirus started from Wuhan in China. What is the new official name of Mars 2020 rover of NASA? So the official name is Perseverance. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is a space agency of USA. Now if we talk about this rover, so it is going to search the sign of microbial life on Mars. Mars is also known as Red Planet. Namaste is a portal of which Union Ministry of India? So it is a portal of Ministry of Ayush. And this Namaste stands for National Ayush Morbidity and Standardized Terminologies electronic portal. So it has been developed by Ministry of Ayush. Which state has recently announced subsidy for orthodox tea growers in its budget? So this state is Assam, and during its budget it provided special subsidy initiatives for the orthodox tea growers to provide them financial support. Now Assam was also in news as it was the host of this year's Khelo India Youth Games. Which state launched an initiative called Safe Homes to provide safe accommodation to the inter-caste and inter-religious couples? So this is an initiative of Kerala government to provide accommodation to the couples who have married outside their caste or religion. So the objective is to ensure their safety and security. BARC, which has been named as the top NGO of the world, is from which country? So Bangladesh. Secured the first position for the 5th consecutive year, and it is a international development organization. It was set up in 1972, and this NGO aimed at helping the returning of war refugees with help and rehabilitation projects. So it is a Bangladesh based NGO. Now if we talk about Bangladesh, Bangladesh was also in news as it became the first state in South Asia to start e-passport service. Apart from that, Bangladesh was also in news as recently Bangladesh team won Under-19 Cricket World Cup. Which state has recently launched a digital literacy program titled I Am Also Digital? So it is a digital literacy initiative of Kerala government, and the pilot project will be launched in Thiruvananthapuram City Corporation. The renovated Animal Transport Memorial was recently inaugurated by the Indian Army in which city? So it was inaugurated in Bengaluru. Now, Bengaluru is in Karnataka. It should be noted that 26th of September has been nominated as the Animal Transport Remembrance Day. The book titled Adventures of Daredevil Democrat, which was recently published, narrates the story of which former Chief Minister? So this particular book narrates the story of Mr. Biju Patnaik, and this book was recently released by the present Chief Minister of Odisha, Mr. Naveen Patnaik. Mr. Naveen Patnaik is the son of Mr. Biju Patnaik. Who is the chairperson of high-level panel recently set up to prepare an investigation manual for Serious Fraud Investigation Office? So recently government constituted a 12-member high-level panel to prepare an investigation manual for SFIO. Avni Chaturvedi, Bhavna Kant and Mohana Singh, who recently received the Nari Shakti Puruskar Award, are associated with which profession? So these ladies were in news recently as they are fighter pilots. And recently President Mr. Ramnath Kovind presented the Nari Shakti Puruskar on the occasion of International Women's Day. That means on 8th of March. Which city was the venue of conference on empowering women entrepreneurs that was organized by MSME Ministry? So this conference held in New Delhi, and this conference was organized by Ministry of MSME in collaboration with various other organizations, and MSME Minister Mr. Nitin Gadkari inaugurated this conference. Women Scientist Scheme and Vigyan Jyoti are the schemes of which union ministry? So these are the schemes of Ministry of Science and Technology. Actually, recently these schemes were in news as Union Minister for Science and Technology Dr. Harshvardhan launched a new helpline, and this helpline aims at assisting women students, researchers and scientists to get their queries answered related to the schemes of Ministry of Science and Technology. Hansraj Bharadwaj, who passed away recently, was the former Union Minister of which portfolio? So Mr. Hansraj Bharadwaj was the former Union Minister of Law and Justice, and he was associated to INC, that is Indian National Congress, and he passed away recently. Who is the first Indian cricketer to play in 150 Ranji Trophy matches? So Mr. Wasim Jaffer is the first Indian cricketer to play 150 Ranji Trophy matches. Now recently he was in news as he announced his retirement from all forms of the game. Which Indian sportsperson was named the Changemaker of Year at Business Line Changemaker Awards? So right answer is Duti Chand. So Indian athlete Duti Chand was awarded Changemaker of the Year jointly with ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization. Who is the head of Delimitation Commission that was recently set up to redraw the Lok Sabha and Assembly constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir and 4 northeastern states? So right answer is Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai. So Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai is going to be the head of this Delimitation Commission for the redrawal of constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir and 4 northeast states. India recently joined the Indian Ocean Commission as observer. Now the question is, IOC comprises of how many member nations? So right answer is 5. So IOC comprises of 5 African Indian Ocean nations. These are Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, Reunion Islands and Seychelles. And recently India became the observer. The recently launched Mahatma Gandhi National Fellowship Program is a part of Sankalp scheme of which union ministry? So it is a part of Sankalp scheme of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. And as per this initiative, the district level programs are developed to provide skill to the manpower. Which female hockey player won the Dhruv Batra Player of the Year award 2019 at Hockey India Annual Awards? So right answer is Rani Rampal. So the present captain of India's hockey team, Miss Rani Rampal, was selected for this particular award. So she was selected in female category, while in male category, Mr. Manpreet Singh was awarded. Which country's cricket team won the Women's T20 World Cup? So Australia won it by defeating India, and this tournament held in Australia. Now apart from this, recently Bangladesh won the Under-19 Cricket World Cup by defeating India. DZ Pivot, a skill development program for women, is launched by which major technological company? So this initiative is an initiative of Google, and the objective of this initiative is to provide a skill development program for women who seek to return to their corporate careers after a break, or who are planning to shift to digital marketing career. C.V. Nageshwar was recently appointed as the Deputy MD and CFO of which Indian bank? So Mr. Nageshwar has been given the additional charge of Deputy MD and CFO of State Bank of India. Now recently, SBI was also in news as it is going to invest in Yes Bank. SBI is going to pick up 49% in Yes Bank. Now Yes Bank was in news recently as RBI put Yes Bank in moratorium. Who is the first super heavyweight Indian boxer to qualify for Olympic Games? Right answer is Mr. Satish Kumar. So Mr. Satish Kumar is the first super heavyweight, that means in 91 plus kg category. So Mr. Satish Kumar is the first super heavyweight Indian boxer to qualify for Tokyo Olympic Games. Kowa Punjab mobile app launched by Punjab government is aimed to spread awareness on which disease? So this mobile application has been launched by the state government of Punjab to spread awareness about coronavirus. Now, if we talk about Punjab government, recently it was also in news as it passed resolution against CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act. Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon has been recently appointed as the Director General of which organization? Right answer is DIA, that is Defense Intelligence Agency. So Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon has been appointed as the DG of Tri-Services Organization DIA, that means Defense Intelligence Agency. Shadi Bhagya scheme, which was making news recently, is a scheme of which state government? So it is a scheme of Karnataka state government, and the objective of this particular initiative is to provide the financial assistance to the brides for marriage expenses. Which country recently joined as the 16th member in e-Vidya Bharati Arogya Bharati network of MEA, that is Ministry of External Affairs? So right answer is Gambia. So this is an initiative of Ministry of External Affairs. The tombs of Taramati and Premamati, which were in news recently, are in which state of India? So these are in Telangana. And recently these tombs were in news as recently the US Ambassador to India announced the completion of US funded restoration project of the tombs of Taramati and Premamati within the Qutub Shahi Tombs Complex, and it is in Hyderabad in Telangana. What is the theme of International Women's Day? Right answer is I am Generation Equality, Realizing Women's Rights. So every year on 8th of March, International Women's Day is celebrated, and the theme of this year was I am Generation Equality, Realizing Women's Rights. Ankita Raina, who was in news recently, is associated to which sports? So she is associated to tennis. Which state is to set up an exclusive department for self-help group called Mission Shakti? So recently Odisha decided to set up an exclusive department for self-help group. The traditional festival Phagli is celebrated in which Indian state? So it is celebrated in Himachal Pradesh, and it is celebrated to mark the beginning of Spring Festival. Nupur Kulshrestha has become the first woman Deputy Inspector General of which Indian Armed Force or CAPF? Right answer is Indian Coast Guard. So she became the first woman to be promoted as DIG of Indian Coast Guard. UNSC has recently approved the resolution of which country on its deal with Taliban? So Taliban is a militant group of Afghanistan, and recently Taliban and USA signed peace deal, and recently this peace deal was approved through the resolution of UNSC. So right answer is US. Which global organization recently adopted a political declaration on women's rights? So this is done by United Nations, and this adopted declaration follows the theme of Beijing Declaration of 1995, and this declaration sought to promote progress of women around the world. As per the Trends in International Arms Transfer Report, which country was the largest arms importer during 2015 to 2019? So as per this report of SIPRI, Saudi Arabia is the largest arms importer, while India is on second position in terms of arms import. Which is the national slogan of Bangladesh as per the order of Bangladesh High Court? So High Court of Bangladesh ruled that Joy Bangla will be the national slogan of Bangladesh. Which Indian sports person won the inaugural BBC Indian Sportswoman of the Year award? So right answer is Miss PV Sindhu. So she won the first edition of BBC Indian Sportswoman of the Year award, and in 2019 Miss PV Sindhu became the first Indian to win Badminton World Championship gold. Who is the only Indian player to feature in ICC Women's T20 World Cup team of the tournament? Right answer is Poonam Yadav. So she is the only Indian player to feature in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup team of the tournament. Nigah, a mobile application to curb election malpractices, is an initiative of which Indian state? So it is an initiative of Andhra Pradesh, and through this mobile application, any person can file complaint about the corruption during an election campaign. Now, if we talk about few other apps which were in news recently RBI launched Money app to help visually challenged people to identify currency notes. As per the recent Inclusive Internet Index 2020 of EIU, that is Economist Intelligence Unit, which is the best performing country in the world? So right answer is Sweden. Sweden is the best performing country, and Sweden is followed by New Zealand and USA. India is on 46th position this year. Which Indian public sector bank waived the minimum balance requirement for all saving bank accounts? So recently, State Bank of India announced it that the penalty charges for non-maintenance of average monthly balance are to be waived. That means there won't be any penalty even if you do not maintain the minimum balance in your saving account of SBI Bank. World Economic Forum released its new list of 115 young global leaders. How many Indians are there in this list? So as per this list, there are 5 Indians, and these young leaders are under the age of 40, and these young leaders are called as change makers. According to the new data from Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, which country is the largest exporter of arms during past 5 years? So as per this report of SIPRI, USA is the largest exporter of arms, and half of the arms export of US have gone to Middle East, that means to the West Asia, and USA is followed by Russia, France and Germany. Which global organization has launched COVID Action Platform to convene the business opportunity to support for COVID-19. So this is an initiative of World Economic Forum, and this is a first of its kind platform that will integrate all the efforts of all the entities in tackling the outbreak together. Now this COVID-19 is a name given by WHO. S.S. Deswal has been appointed as the Director General of which Indian paramilitary force? So Mr. Deswal has been given the additional charge of BSF, that is Border Security Force. Mr. Deswal is the present DG of ITBP, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police. It should be noted that the BSF DG, Mr. Vivek Johri, was posted to his parent cadre, and that is why Mr. Deswal was given the additional charge. Which is the venue of main national event for 6th International Day of Yoga 2020? Right answer is Leh. So the 6th International Day of Yoga event is going to be in Leh in Ladakh. Last year, this event held in Ranchi in Jharkhand. Now, if we talk about Ladakh, the state of Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated in Union Territory of Ladakh and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The parliament of which country passed a bill to allow the president to contest in the presidential elections after 2024? So, this is done by the parliament of Russia. And with the help of this bill, President Mr. Putin can contest even after 2024. The present limit on the president is 2 terms. That means one cannot be president for more than 2 consecutive terms. Which Indian queuist was the runner-up of the National 6-Red Snooker Championship, at which Mr. Pankaj Advani won his 34th national title? So the national title winner is Mr. Pankaj Advani and the runner-up is Ispreet Singh, and this event held in Ahmedabad in Gujarat. WHO declared COVID-19 as pandemic. Which disease was previously declared as pandemic by WHO? Right answer is H1N1 influenza, and this was declared in 2009. World Bank signed an $80 million loan agreement with which Indian state to increase the agricultural productivity in its Gram Panchayats? Right answer is Himachal Pradesh. So, to improve the water management practices and to increase the agricultural productivity in our country, Himachal Pradesh and World Bank signed this loan agreement. The Department of Post have recently introduced free digital parcel locker service for the first time in India, and it was introduced in which city? So it was started in Kolkata. Kolkata is in West Bengal. So under this service, customers can collect their consignment from post office at their convenience. Pragati is a CSR, that is Corporate Social Responsibility initiative of which technological company of India? So it is initiative of Facebook and it is CSR initiative. Now answer in comment box which act contains the provision for corporate social responsibility. Which global financial organization announced an assistance of $200 million to medicine manufacturing companies that work to combat COVID-19? Right answer is ADB, that is Asian Development Bank. So ADB announced that it will provide $200 million to the companies which manufacture and distribute medicines and other things required to combat the novel coronavirus. What does the term knackers represent, which was in news recently? Right answer is botnet. So it is a botnet, and recently it was in news as Microsoft and its partners took legal and technical steps to disrupt this botnet. Botnet means a computer network which is infected with malware, through which the cyber criminals can get access to your computer. Which Indian state declared coronavirus as epidemic for the first time in the country? So recently, Haryana government declared coronavirus as epidemic. The first case of coronavirus in India was found in Kerala. Which Indian airport emerged as the best airport of Asia Pacific in over 40 million passengers per annum category in ASQ 2019 rankings. So this airport is IGI Airport, that is Indira Gandhi International Airport, and this ranking was released by ACI, that is Airports Council International. Rajesh Chaplot, who received the highest civilian award of Uganda, is associated with which field? Right answer is business. So he is associated with business and he is a non-resident Indian businessman. He is from Rajasthan. Hola Mohalla is a festival celebrated in which Indian state or union territory? So it is celebrated in Punjab and it is celebrated in the Anandpur Sahib of Punjab. So it is a festival of Sikh community. Which is the venue of Civil Aviation Exhibition and Air Show Wings India 2020. So Hyderabad is the host of this event and this event was organized by Ministry of Civil Aviation along with FICCI. The World Kidney Day is celebrated in which month? So it is celebrated in March and it is celebrated on the second Thursday of March every year. And the theme of this year was Kidney Health for Everyone Everywhere, from prevention to detection and equitable access to care. Which Indian state is set to depute Arogya Mitra at primary health centers to inform people about government health related schemes? So this is an initiative of Uttar Pradesh government, and as per this initiative, Arogya Mitra will be deputed at all the PHC, that is primary health centers in the state, to inform people about the various health related initiatives of state government as well as of central government. Rajya Sabha passed the Mineral Laws Amendment Bill 2020, which proposes to commercialize the mining of which mineral? So recently, Rajya Sabha passed this bill which seek to amend the MMD&R Act of 1957. Now this MMD&R stands for Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act. This bill seeks to allow the companies which do not possess any prior coal mining experience to participate in coal auctions. Which Indian institution is to infuse Rupee 7250 crore into Yes Bank as per the reconstruction plan of RBI? So SBI, that is State Bank of India, is going to purchase 725 crore shares in Yes Bank at a price of Rupee 10 per share. The US Congress approved a resolution to restrain President Donald Trump from attacking which country? Right answer is Iran. So recently US Congress approved to restrain Mr. Donald Trump from attacking Iran. So as per this resolution, no military action shall be taken against Iran without an explicit vote from Congress. Congress means Parliament of USA. INS Shardul carried essential food and relief materials to be handed over to which flood-hit country? So right answer is Madagascar. Now it should be noted that in January, Indian Navy conducted Operation Vanilla, and the objective of this operation was to provide humanitarian assistance to Madagascar after the devastation caused by Cyclone Dian. The World Athletics Council imposed 10 million USD fine on Athletics Federation for doping scandals. Right answer is Russia. So recently, the fine was imposed on Russian Athletics Federation for breaching the doping rules. What is the name of indigenous glucometer which was developed with the assistance from ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research? So the name of this glucometer is Suchek and it is indigenous glucometer, financial assistance from ICMR. Crime Multi-Agency Center, which was in news recently, is associated with which organization? So it is associated with NCRB, that is National Crime Records Bureau, and this CREMAC was launched by the Union Minister of State for Home, Mr. Nityanand Rai, which is the first Indian airline to partner with a special economic zone for setting up warehousing facility. So it is SpiceJet. So recently SpiceJet announced its partnership with GMR Hyderabad Aviation SEZ Limited, that is GHASL. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, who is the richest billionaire in Asia? So Mr. Jack Ma is the richest billionaire in Asia as per this Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Mr. Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba Group. Indian mountaineer Bhavna Deharia has successfully scaled Mount Kosciuszko. Now the question is, it is the highest mountain peak of which country? So right answer is Australia. So this mountain Kosciuszko is the highest mountain peak of Australia, and it was in news recently as Bhavna Deharia from Madhya Pradesh scaled it successfully. Which Indian state approved the Khatwa panel's recommendation to slash the fare prices of auto rickshaws by 15% for a selected hours of a day? Right answer is Maharashtra. So recently Maharashtra government approved the recommendation of panel to slash the fare prices of auto rickshaws by 15% between 12 pm to 4 pm. Which Bollywood celebrity has been appointed as the first ever brand ambassador of IDFC First Bank? Right answer is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. So recently IDFC First Bank appointed Mr. Bachchan as the brand ambassador. Uttaran scheme, which was in news recently, is implemented by which state of India? So it was implemented by Assam government, and the objective of this scheme is to provide funding to the building of stadiums. Shantu Mukhopadhyay, who passed away recently, was associated to which field? So he was associated to cinema, and he was known for his roles in Bengali films. He passed away recently in Kolkata. Which golfer is set to be inducted into World Golf Hall of Fame as part of class of 2021? Right answer is Mr. Tiger Woods. So the American legendary golfer Tiger Woods will be inducted into World Golf Hall of Fame as part of class of 2021. ICDS, Common Application Software, which was in news recently, is associated with which scheme? So it is associated to Poshan Abhiyan. Now if we talk about Poshan, it stands for Prime Minister's overarching scheme for holistic nutrition. Union Cabinet approved RODTEP scheme, which is set to replace the MEIS. MEIS stands for Merchandise Export Incentive Scheme. Now the question is, what does R stands for in this new RODTEP scheme? So R stands for remission. So this scheme is for exporters. That means those who export items from India to other countries. As per the recent notification of RBI, what is the limit for urban cooperative banks to lend to a single borrower? Right answer is 15% of Tier 1 capital. So for UCB, RBI has put a limit, and the limit is 15% of Tier 1 capital for single borrowers and 25% of Tier 1 capital for group borrowers. The government has declared face masks and hand sanitizers as essential commodities by placing them under which act? Right answer is Essential Commodities Act of 1955. So now mask and hand sanitizers have been declared as essential commodities. RBI issued guidelines for the implementation of Ind AS by NBFC. NBFC stands for Non-Banking Financial Companies, and for ARC, that is Asset Reconstruction Companies. Now the question is, what does Ind AS stand for? So Ind AS stands for Indian Accounting Standards, and RBI issued regulatory guidelines for NBFC and ARC for the implementation of Indian Accounting Standards. In Green Highway project what percentage of the total project cost are spent on highway plantation and the maintenance? Right answer is 1%. So 1% of the total cost of that particular project is spent for the plantation as well as for the maintenance. So the idea behind this green highway policy is to promote tree plantation on the sides of highways, and this is to be done with the community participation. As per the reconstruction scheme of Yes Bank, what is the bank's new authorized capital? So as per the reconstruction plan, the new authorized capital is 6200 crores. It should be noted that recently Union Cabinet approved the reconstruction plan proposed by RBI for the financial assistance to Yes Bank. India has appealed against the closure of Ambedkar House Memorial. It is located in which country? So it is located in UK. It should be noted that this memorial was facing problems due to the breach of planning norms for the residential area. Actually, it is a place where Dr. Ambedkar lived in 1921-22 when he was studying at London School of Economics. Jaidev Unadkat is the captain of which regional cricket team that won the first Ranji Trophy? Right answer is Saurashtra. So, in the history of Ranji Trophy, Saurashtra won the tournament for the first time. What is the GST rates on mobile phones with effect from 1st of April as per the recent notification by GST Council? Right answer is 18%. So, GST Council is headed by Union Finance Minister, and recently it announced that it has increased the GST rates on mobile phones. The previous rate was 12%, now it is 18%. Which famous personality has stepped down from the board to enter into philanthropy? Right answer is Mr. Bill Gates. So the co-founder of Microsoft has stepped down from the board of Microsoft. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs recently approved an additional fixed cost of Rs 350 per ton to which commodity? Right answer is urea. So recently CCEA approved the proposal of Department of Fertilizers, and as per this new proposal, a grant of Rs 350 per ton will be provided to the urea manufacturing units so that they can sustain themselves. As per the recent announcement from US government, which company is developing a website to help with coronavirus test? So Google is working on this initiative. Now Mr. Sundar Pichai is the CEO of Google, who has been recently appointed as the chairperson of NCLAT, that is National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Right answer is Justice Bansilal, and Justice Bansilal will replace Justice Sudhanshu Jyoti Mukhopadhyay. India has become the 5th country to isolate the strains of COVID-19, and this was done by the scientists of which institution? So, right answer is National Institute of Virology, Pune, and it is a part of ICMR, that is Indian Council for Medical Research. The project to construct a new integrated checkpost at Sabroom has been approved. The town Sabroom is located in which northeast state? So it is located in Tripura. Now answer in comment box whether Tripura share border boundary with Myanmar or not. Who is the only Indian to feature in the iSport Connect list of 10 most influential women in sports? Right answer is Miss Neeta Ambani. So the owner of Mumbai Indians cricket team has been named in the iSport Connect list of 10 most influential women in sports for 2020. The flagship Ganga Amantran Abhiyan program is conducted by which organization? So this is conducted by National Mission for Clean Ganga. It should be noted that this Ganga Amantran Abhiyan is a expedition program to create awareness on Ganga rejuvenation and water conservation. Chameli Devi Jain Award is an annual event presented to outstanding performers of which field? So this award is related to journalism, and this year the award was presented jointly to the two journalists. One is Arfa Khanam Sherwani. She is associated to The Wire. On the other hand, second journalist is Rohini Mohan. She is a freelancer. With State Cabinet recently passed an ordinance which seeks to recover the losses caused by the damage to public property from rioters. Now let me just give you the brief background about this event. CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act, came into picture, and in the opposition of CAA, in certain areas, people caused damage to public property. Now, the Uttar Pradesh government has passed an ordinance to recover the loss caused by the damage to that particular public property from rioters. So, right answer is Uttar Pradesh. In the context of new recruitment system to be followed from 2021 for various government jobs, what does CET stands for? So CET stands for Common Eligibility Test, and from 2021 the CET will be conducted for jobs in railways, banks and the lower levels of central administrative jobs. Sahitya Akademi Award winner P. Ramachandran, who passed away recently, was a poet and scholar in which language? So he was a poet and scholar in Malayalam language, and he passed away recently. Now if we talk about Malayalam, it is the official language of Kerala and it is a classical language. Answer in comment box how many languages have received status of classical language in our country. Akshaya Urja Portal is an initiative of which union ministry? So it is an initiative of MNRE, that is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and MNRE recently launched a new website to provide information about the new schemes and projects taken by this ministry. According to the Gender Social Norms Index report released by UNDP, how many countries have achieved gender equality? Right answer is 0. So recently UNDP released first ever Gender Social Norms Index, and as per this index, no country in the world has achieved gender equality, and it would take 257 years to close the gender gap in economic opportunity. In the video conference held between the leaders of SAARC, which country proposed COVID-19 emergency fund? So recently, a video conference held between the member countries of SAARC, and in this event, Prime Minister Mr. Modi proposed COVID-19 emergency fund. So right answer is India. And for this fund, India would provide $10 million as initial contribution. Who was appointed as the fourth advisor to Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor G.C. Murmu? So Mr. Basir Ahmed Khan has been appointed as the fourth advisor to Jammu and Kashmir LG Mr. G.C. Murmu. An important personality in Ambedkar's historic conversion to Buddhism passed away recently. What was the name of that personality? Right answer is Mr. Sadanand Phulzhele. So Mr. Sadanand Phulzhele was the founding secretary of Dr. Baba Sahab Ambedkar Smarak Samiti. A new passenger ferry service called RoPax was recently inaugurated in which state? So it was inaugurated in Maharashtra, and it was inaugurated by Minister of State for Shipping, Mr. Manshukh Mandavia. What is the theme of World Consumer Rights Day? Right answer is A. Sustainable Consumer. So World Consumer Rights Day is celebrated on 15th of March, and the theme of this year was the Sustainable Consumer. Which badminton player won the men's single title at All England Open Badminton Championship? So Victor Axelsen won the men's single title. Victor Axelsen is from Denmark. Which global technological company was the first to launch a web portal which tracks the COVID-19 infections worldwide? Right answer is Microsoft. So this was launched by Microsoft, and it reflects the COVID-19 infections. A village called Amin is said to be renamed as Abhimanyupur. Now the question is, it is in which state? Right answer is Haryana. So this village is in Haryana in Kurukshetra district. Which e-commerce company has partnered with Aegon Life Insurance to sell insurance solutions for customers? Right answer is Flipkart. So Flipkart has partnered with this Aegon Life Insurance to sell insurance solutions online. Which city of Rajasthan, also called as Marble City of India, was recently connected with Indore under RCS Udaan scheme? So Kisangad in Rajasthan is known as Marble City of India, and recently Kisangad was connected with Indore under RCS Udaan scheme. So this Udaan scheme is a scheme of Ministry of Civil Aviation. Which European country recently imposed a fine of 1.1 billion euro on Apple for its anti-competitive behavior? Right answer is France. So the Competition Authority of France imposed this fine on Apple. Which country is set to create a 4 billion anti-crisis fund to protect economy from COVID-19 outbreak? So this COVID-19 is the name of disease that is caused by coronavirus. So right answer is Russia. So Russia has decided to create this fund. Now Russia was also in news as recently Mr. Mikhail Mishustin was appointed as the new Prime Minister of Russia. Which former Chief Justice of India has been nominated to Rajya Sabha? Right answer is Justice Ranjan Gogoi. So recently President of India nominated Justice Ranjan Gogoi to Rajya Sabha. So as per Article 80 of Indian Constitution, President can nominate 12 members to Rajya Sabha who have special knowledge or practical experience in the field of literature, science, art or social service. So Justice Ranjan Gogoi was the 46th Chief Justice of India. Present Chief Justice of India is Justice Sarad Arvind Bobde. What is the share of Indian companies in Defence Ministry's contracts for the procurement of defence equipments? Right answer is 75.03%. In 2015-16, it was 39.06%. Ravinder Singh Dhillon has been appointed as the Chairman and MD of which public sector undertaking? So he has been appointed as the Chairman and MD of PFC, that is Power Finance Corporation, and it is under Ministry of Power. Patel Puttappa, who recently passed away, was associated to which field? So he was associated to journalism and he was a follower of Gandhian principles. He passed away recently. Which Indian institution has launched a reskilling program for women called Career Back to Women? So this is an initiative of IIT Madras, and this program aims to offer 150 hours of training to reskill the women who have taken a break from their career. So as the name itself suggests, Career Back to Women. Which country has begun the first human trial to evaluate vaccine against coronavirus? Right answer is US. So US has started the first phase of clinical trial of a vaccine to protect against coronavirus disease, and this initiative is supported by a global coalition founded by India and Norway. In the context with the Supreme Court judgment on granting permanent commission to female Navy officers, the question is for how many years they can serve in permanent commission? Right answer is 14 years. So a Supreme Court judgment ordered the government to grant permanent commission to female officers in Indian Navy. Poshan Pakhwada or Nutritional Fortnight is a program held in which Indian state or union territory? So this is an initiative of Goa, and the objective of this program is to create awareness about nutrition. Goa is going to be the host of this year's National Games. Hemostat, which was in news recently, is a material developed to stop rapid blood loss during accidents. It is made up of which component? So this hemostat is made up of starch, and the scientists from INST, that is Institute of Nanosciences and Technology, developed a material called hemostat. and it is a starch-based material developed to stop the rapid blood loss. Business app Khata Book entered into a strategic partnership with which Indian personality? Right answer is Mr. Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So Mr. Dhoni is going to invest in this firm and he will also serve as the brand ambassador of Khata Book. Phul Dei is a harvest festival of which Indian state? So it is a festival of Uttarakhand and it is celebrated to mark the beginning of spring season. Chatra Jatra is an annual festival celebrated in which Indian state? So right answer is Odisha, and this was in news as the event was cancelled because of coronavirus outbreak. Which country is set to levy a 2% tax on digital services from 1st of April 2020? Right answer is UK. So UK is going to levy 2% tax on digital services. What is the toll-free number issued by Health Ministry to inquire about coronavirus? Right answer is 1075. So this is the toll-free helpline issued by Health Ministry. Union Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh launched a book titled Invincible based on which former Union Defence Minister? So this book is a tribute to Mr. Manohar Parrikar. Mr. Parrikar was the former Defence Minister of India. Before that, he was the Chief Minister of Goa. As per the recent notification from RBI, PA are to be regulated by the central bank. Now the question is, PA stands for? So PA stands for Payment Aggregator, and RBI announced that it will regulate the entire activities of payment aggregators. Who is the author of recently released book My Encounters in Parliament? Right answer is Balchandra Mungekar. So it is a book by Professor Balchandra Mungekar, and recently former Vice President of India Mr. Hamid Ansari launched this book. In the context with the recently passed Aircraft Amendment Bill 2020, how many regulatory institutions are to be converted into statutory bodies? So recently this Aircraft Amendment Bill was passed, and as per this, 3 regulatory institutions are to be converted into statutory bodies, and these 3 are DGCA, that is Directorate General of Civil Aviation. Second one is BCAS, that is Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, and third one is AAIB, that is Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. Which technological firm along with NESCOM Foundation launched the Innovate for Accessible India campaign? Right answer is Microsoft. So this was launched by Microsoft India in collaboration with NESCOM Foundation. Air India CMD Ashwani Lohani has been appointed as the chairman of Tourism Development Corporation of which state? Right answer is Andhra Pradesh Tourism Development Corporation. So Mr. Lohani has been appointed as the chairman of APTDC. World Cities Summit is a global conference hosted by which country? So it is hosted by Singapore, and this year the theme of this event is livable and sustainable cities adapting to a disrupted world. Adnan Al-Jurfi was appointed as the new Prime Minister of which country by its President Barham Saleh? Right answer is Iraq. So recently, President of Iraq Mr. Barham Saleh has appointed Mr. Adnan Al-Jurfi as the new Prime Minister designate. Which Indian state uses robot to spread awareness on COVID-19 among the public? Right answer is Kerala. So Kerala decided to use robots for creating awareness on COVID-19. The football coach Francisco Garcia, who has recently passed away due to coronavirus, was associated to which country? So he was associated to Spain. The capital of Spain is Madrid. Rishi Sunak, the finance minister of which country, unveiled £330 billion rescue package to help fight coronavirus? Right answer is UK. So Mr. Sunak is the finance minister of UK, and recently he launched this relief package to
fight coronavirus. UK was also in news because of Brexit. Noel Quinn has been appointed as the CEO of which multinational bank? Right answer is HSBC. So, HSBC Bank recently announced that it appointed Noel Quinn as CEO. Which state has set up a panel to study the proposal to pay cash directly to the laborers' accounts to protect them from income loss due to COVID-19? Right answer is Uttar Pradesh. So, Uttar Pradesh decided to set up this panel. The scientists of which institution have developed a chemical-free hand sanitizer in our country? Right answer is CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and this council was established in 1942. Google has appointed which technical expert as the Managing Director of Google Cloud in our country? Right answer is Karan Bajwa. So Mr. Bajwa is going to be the MD of Google Cloud in India. Which famous application introduced a unique feed named Discover, which let users report negative content and provide customized articles? So this is an initiative of Google, and the name of initiative is Discover. It provides curated articles to Google Pixel and Google App users based on their interest. 12 journalists were selected for the Road Safety Media Fellowship, which is implemented by Centre for Media Studies in association with which global organization? Right answer is WHO, that is World Health Organization. So CMS in partnership with WHO is implementing this Media Fellowship program on road safety. India provided a grant of nearly 68 million Indian rupees to which neighboring country for the construction of school building? Right answer is Nepal. So India recently committed to grant this much money to Nepal for the construction of school buildings.
The Government of India launched MyGov Corona Help Desk to contain the spread of misinformation on the coronavirus on which social media platform. So, to prevent the spread of fake information or fake news about coronavirus, this chatbot was launched on WhatsApp, and the chatbot is named as MyGov Corona Help Desk, and this is the number, so any user can save this number and start using this chatbot. Union Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh unveiled an updated manual DPP. So the question is, what does DPP stand for? So DPP stands for Defence Procurement Procedure. So it is the official procedure through which defense procurement is done. It should be noted that DAC is the nodal organization for procurement of defense equipments. DAC stands for Defense Acquisition Council, and the chairman of DAC is Defense Minister. According to World Happiness Report, which is the happiest country in world? Right answer is Finland. So recently, this World Happiness Report was released by UNSDSN. SDSN stands for Sustainable Development Solutions Network. Satyarup Siddhant, who was sometimes seen in news, is associated to which field? Right answer is mountaineering. So Mr. Satyarup Siddhant was in news as he was nominated for Limca Book of World Records for becoming the first Indian to climb the highest volcano of all 7 continents. What is the name of initiative launched by TriFed to promote entrepreneurship among tribal people? So this initiative is Tech for Tribals, and this is an initiative by TriFed. And for this, TriFed and INIS collaborated. RAISE 2020, which was seen in news, is the first global artificial intelligence summit of which country? So it was first global artificial intelligence summit of our country, and it was supposed to happen recently, but it was postponed because of coronavirus outbreak. It should be noted that Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is going to organize this event. former RBI Deputy Governor Mr. R. Gandhi and Mr. Anant Narayan has been appointed on the board of which Indian bank? Right answer is Yes Bank. So these two have been appointed as additional directors on the board of Yes Bank for 2 years. A 3-time Grammy-winning American singer passed away recently. What is the name of singer? Right answer is Mr. Kenny Rogers. So he was from USA and he passed away recently. Which SAARC member country pledged $1 million to SAARC Coronavirus Emergency Fund? So recently this fund was proposed by our Prime Minister Mr. Modi, and recently Afghanistan has pledged 1 million contribution to SAARC Corona Emergency Fund. India proposed an initial contribution of $10 million. On which date the World Poetry Day is celebrated? So it is celebrated on 21st of March, and it should be noted that during the session of UNESCO in 1999, it was decided that 21st of March will be celebrated as World Poetry Day, which is the International Day of Happiness that is celebrated all over the world. So 20th of March is celebrated as International Day of Happiness. E-Night Beat Checking System is an initiative of which state government? So it is an initiative of Himachal Pradesh, and recently the state government launched 2 initiatives. One is Police Station Visitor Survey System and another one is this E-Night Beat Checking System. What is the theme of International Day of Forest 2020? Right answer is Forest and Biodiversity. So every year 21st of March is celebrated as International Day of Forest and the theme was Forest and Biodiversity. What is the maximum limit of grant given to state per bulk drug park under the bulk drug park scheme? Right answer is 1000 crore rupees. So recently cabinet approved this scheme called bulk drug park scheme. So as per the initiative, 3 bulk drug parks and 4 medical devices parks will be set up, and the government will grant to states with a maximum limit of rupee 1000 crore per bulk drug park. Which state government approved distilleries to manufacture and supply sanitizers temporarily because of coronavirus outbreak? Right answer is Punjab. So this decision was taken by Punjab government. What is the theme of World Down Syndrome Day 2020? Right answer is We Decide, and it is celebrated on 21st of March. Which decade is announced as International Decade for People of African Descent? Right answer is from 2015 to 2024. And the theme of this International Decade is People of African Descent, Recognition, Justice and Development. Which country successfully conducted a test flight of hypersonic missile after Russia? So recently, USA successfully tested a hypersonic missile. The Border Road Organization opened a 360 feet long suspension bridge over which river? Right answer is Tista. So this long suspension bridge over Tista river is in North Sikkim. Union Cabinet has approved EMC 2.0 scheme. The scheme is associated with which field? Right answer is electronics manufacturing. So this modified EMC scheme is associated to electronics manufacturing. Who is the head of high-level committee of medical experts constituted by the Government of India for prevention and control of COVID-19? So right answer is Dr. V.K. Paul. Now COVID-19 is the name of disease caused by coronavirus, and the outbreak of this disease started in Wuhan in China. What is the theme of World Water Day that is observed around the world? Right answer is water and climate change. So every year on 22nd of March, World Water Day is observed since 1993, and the theme of this year was water and climate change. Lok Sabha has passed the Finance Bill by voice vote. Which article of the Indian Constitution define the Money Bill? Right answer is Article 110. So Money Bill is a type of finance bill and it is defined in the Article 110 of Indian Constitution. Money Bill is certified by Speaker. Which organization announced on World Water Day that between 3.5 billion and 4.4 billion people in world will live with limited access to water? Right answer is United Nations. So on World Water Day, UN Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres warned that between 3.5 and 4.4 billion people in world will live with limited access to water. Which rating agency has estimated the cost of COVID-19 outbreak for 14 Asia-Pacific countries at $620 billion? Right answer is S&P Ratings. So S&P estimated the cost of COVID-19 outbreak. Which state commemorates the Shahidi Divas, that is Martyrs Day, on 23rd of March as Youth Empowerment Day? Right answer is Punjab. So 23rd of March is important for us as three young freedom fighters, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, were hanged on this date, and that is why we observe Martyrs Day on this specific date. Which SAARC member country has committed $5 million to the COVID-19 SAARC Emergency Fund? Right answer is Sri Lanka. So this SAARC Emergency Fund was proposed by our Prime Minister Mr. Modi. SAARC stands for South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. The birth anniversary of one of the founders of Congress Socialist Party was recently observed on 23rd of March. What is the name of that leader? Right answer is Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, and he was one of the founders of CSP. Which Indian city has deployed drones to sanitize the area against coronavirus outbreak by sprinkling chemicals? So right answer is Indore. So Indore is the first city in our country to do so. Indore is in Madhya Pradesh. What is the theme of World Meteorological Day that was celebrated across the world? Right answer is Climate and Water. So every year World Meteorological Day is observed on 23rd of March, and the theme of this year was Climate and Water. SDMC recently launched a website for information related to COVID-19. Now the question is, SDMC is a disaster management agency of which bloc? Right answer is SAARC. So SDMC stands for SAARC Disaster Management Centre. Which country has been confirmed as the first co-chair of Governing Council of CDRI, which is led by India? CDRI stands for Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. So right answer is UK. So UK has been confirmed as the first co-chair of this Governing Council of CDRI. Which Indian bank has launched an emergency credit line to meet liquidity mismatch amid the coronavirus outbreak? Right answer is State Bank of India. So SBI has recently unveiled an emergency credit line to meet the liquidity mismatch for its borrowers. Which is the first country to withdraw from Tokyo Olympics over the issues of coronavirus? Right answer is Canada. So Canada is first country to announce withdrawal from Tokyo Olympics because of coronavirus. World TB Day is celebrated to commemorate the anniversary of discovery of TB bacteria by which scientist? Right answer is Robert Koch, and World TB Day is observed on 24th of March. Which drug is recommended by National Task Force constituted by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, for infected by coronavirus? So right answer is hydrochloroquine. This has been recommended by the Task Force of ICMR. H. Furstenberg Margulis are the recipients of which prestigious award? So these two personalities are the recipients of Abel Prize for 2020. Abel Prize is the award associated to mathematics. Which Indian filmmaker won the IIFTC Tourism Impact at the 8th India International Film Tourism Conclave? Right answer is Zoya Akhtar. So she was presented this award at the 8th India International Film Tourism Conclave, and this conclave held in Mumbai. For PDS scheme, that is Public Distribution Scheme, the states and union territories of India receive food grains from which organization? Right answer is FCI, that is Food Corporation of India. So recently this FCI was in news as because of lockdown, the government of India recently allowed states and union territories to lift food grains for 3 months in advance from FCI. Sumant Katpalia has been appointed as MD and CEO of which Indian private sector bank? Right answer is IndusInd Bank. So Sumant Katpalia is going to replace Ms. Romesh Sobti, who retired recently. What is the rank of India in Heritage Foundation Index of Economic Freedom 2020? Right answer is 120. So India is at 120th position, and this Heritage Foundation released Economic Freedom Index, and this Heritage Foundation is USA based organization. Singapore. Which Indian author won the 2020 Pan Hemingway Award of Pan America? Right answer is Miss Ruchika Tomar. So she was selected for this award for her debut novel A Prayer for Travelers. What is the name of National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency of India which was in news? Right answer is Invest India. So Invest India is the Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, and it is under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The Union Cabinet has approved the signing and ratification of extradition treaty between India and which country? Right answer is Belgium. So this treaty was signed between Belgium and India, and this will enable the two countries to extradite the people who are convicted in a extraditable offense. Which Indian bank has launched a prepaid card called Encasu, can be used both offline and online? Right answer is Karur Vaishya Bank. So this card can be used both offline and online. The first COVID-19 dedicated hospital of India is set up in which city? So it was set up in Mumbai, and for this BMC collaborated with the Sir H.N. Reliance Foundation Hospital. A 650 T-flops supercomputing facility is set to be installed in which institution? Right answer is IIT Guwahati. So this is going to be in IIT Guwahati, and the installation of supercomputing system has been started under NSM, that is National Supercomputing Mission. Which state government introduced a bill to enable public participation in various levels of municipal governance? Right answer is Karnataka. So Karnataka introduced this bill to enable public participation, and the name of this bill is BBMP, that is Brahat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palika Bill. A rupee 148 crore project of electric vehicle park and rupee 500 crore project of data center park are the recent initiatives of which state or union territory? So these are initiatives of Tamil Nadu. Mo Jeevan, that means My Life, is an initiative of which Indian state to advise people to stay indoors amid the coronavirus pandemic? Right answer is Odisha. So it is an initiative of Odisha government. The Chief Minister of Odisha is Mr. Naveen Patnaik. Mayiladuthurai has been created as the 38th district of which Indian state? Right answer is Tamil Nadu. So it is the 38th district of Tamil Nadu. Now Tamil Nadu was also in news as it is the first state in our country to enact a law on contract farming. The Global Network Resiliency Platform, which was seen in news, is launched by which international organization? So, it was launched by ITU, that is International Telecommunication Union. And the objective of this platform is to ensure the availability of telecommunication services during the coronavirus outbreak. What is the theme of World Tuberculosis Day? Right answer is it's time. So every year on 24th of March, World Tuberculosis Day is observed to spread awareness about the disease. On the same day in 1882, Dr. Robert Koch announced that he had discovered the bacterium that causes tuberculosis. That is why 24th of March is observed as World TB Day. Whose death anniversary is observed as International Day for the Right to the Truth concerning gross human rights violations and for the dignity of victims. So, right answer is Monsignor Oscar Arnulfo Romero. So, every year on 24th of March, this day is observed by United Nations. Clara, an artificial intelligence bot which helps to self-check COVID-19, is introduced by which country? So it was introduced by USA, and it was introduced by the CDC of USA. CDC stands for Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. As per the recent announcement from the Ministry of Finance, to support economy, what is the deadline of filing income tax return for year 2018-19? Right answer is 30th of June 2020. So recently, Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman announced that the deadline for filing income tax return and filing GST for March, April and May has been extended to 30th of June. The 2024 Summer Olympics is scheduled to be held in which city? Right answer is Paris. So Paris is going to be the host of 2024 event, while Los Angeles is going to be the host of 2028 event. Samir Agarwal has been appointed as Chief Executive Officer of Indian arm of which company? Right answer is Walmart. So Walmart is a US based company, and Mr. Samir Agarwal is promoted as CEO, and he will replace Krish Iyer. Which country that holds the presidency of G20 bloc is to chair an emergency virtual summit of G20 leaders? Right answer is Saudi Arabia. So this emergency meeting held through a virtual conference with the help of internet. MACS 4028 is a recently developed biofortified high protein variety of which crop? So it is a variety of wheat, and scientists at ARI in Pune have developed this biofortified high protein variety of wheat. According to a recent study, the glaciers of which Indian state are losing mass faster than other parts of Himalayas? Right answer is Sikkim. So, as per the study by Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, the glaciers in Sikkim are melting at higher magnitude than other Himalayan regions. The members of Parliament Local Area Development, that is MP LAD scheme, is implemented by which union ministry? So it is implemented by MOSPI, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. The government approved to continue the scheme for rebate of state and central taxes and levies, that is ROSCTL, on export of which products? So it is related to garments. So the scheme will continue beyond 31st of March, and it will benefit the textile sector. Present textile minister is Ms. Smriti Irani. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, that is CCEA, approved Rs 1285 crores for Aligarh Harduaganj flyover, which is proposed to be located in which state? Right answer is Uttar Pradesh. So this project is going to be in Uttar Pradesh. CCEA is headed by Prime Minister of India. So it is a railway flyover which will help in removing the traffic jams in area. The companies in digital industry have decided to temporarily offer SD content instead of HD and Ultra HD. Now the question is, what does SD stands for? Right answer is standard definition. So by standard definition, the streaming will not be higher than 480 pixels on cellular networks until 14th of April. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs recently approved 1340 crore recapitalization for which category of banks? Right answer is RRB, that is Regional Rural Bank. So this was approved by CCEA to improve the capital to risk-weighted assets ratio. So to improve CRAR, this recapitalization will be done. Nimai Ghosh, who passed away recently, is a veteran personality associated with which profession? Right answer is photographer. So Mr. Ghosh was a well-known photographer and he passed away recently. Which international organization launched a $2 billion global humanitarian response plan to fight coronavirus in the poorest countries? Right answer is United Nations. So the Secretary General of United Nations is Mr. Antonio Guterres. CBDT, that is Central Board of Direct Taxes, has how many members excluding the chairperson? Right answer is 6. So it is a statutory body. Answer in comment box, what is the difference between statutory body, executive body and constitutional body? What is the name of central government's economic package for the poor to fight the coronavirus pandemic and lockdown? So recently, Union Finance Minister announced Rupee 1.7 lakh crore economic package to fight against coronavirus, and these relief were announced under Prime Minister Garib Kalyan Scheme. International Day of Remembrance of Victims of Slavery and Transatlantic Slave Trade is observed on which date? So it is observed on 25th of March, and this day honors those who suffered and died slavery system. For the announcement from the CRISIL rating agency, what is their estimate on growth rate of India? Right answer is 3.5%. So the growth estimation is 3.5%. Previously, it was 5.2%. What is the current cash reserve ratio as per the recent announcement from RBI? Right answer is 3%. So CRR has been reduced by 100 basis points and now CRR is 3%. So recently RBI made an announcement after the MPC. Now MPC stands for Monetary Policy Committee. The Ministry of Health through a special amendment has categorized hydroxychloroquine, that is HCQS, under which schedule of drugs and cosmetic rules? So under the drugs and cosmetic rules, those drugs classified under schedule H1 should not be sold over the counter. What is the meaning of over the counter? It means you can directly go to the medical store and purchase it. Days of Glory and Morning en Masse are famous paintings of which Indian artist who passed away recently? Right answer is Mr. Satish Gujral. So Mr. Gujral passed away recently and he was the brother of former Indian Prime Minister Mr. I.K. Gujral. Which rating agency has decreased India's growth in 2020 to 2.5% as per the Global Macro Outlook report? So recently Moody's Investors Service released this Global Macro Outlook report, and as per that report, India's growth rate is going to be 2.5%. In a relief package announced by the central government, women self-help groups will be given collateral-free loans up to Rupee 20 lakhs under which scheme? So recently, Union Finance Minister announced relief package worth 1.7 lakh crores. And as per that, women will get collateral-free loans up to 20 lakhs. Previous limit was 10 lakh, now up to 20 lakhs. Collateral-free loans will be provided under Deen Dayal National Livelihood Mission, and this loan will be provided to women SHG. SHG stands for self-help groups. In the G20's first virtual summit, what is the stimulus package the members pledged to infuse in the global economy? Right answer is $5 trillion. So, recently the first ever virtual summit of G20 held, and it was chaired by Saudi Arabia. The Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, also attended this meeting, and during this meeting, the G20 economy decided to infuse $5 trillion into global economy to provide a boost to economy. Which organization has launched a campaign called Stay Home India with books to encourage people to stay home amid the COVID-19 pandemic? So this decision was taken by NBT, that is National Book Trust, and it is under MHRD. MHRD stands for Ministry of Human Resource Development. What is the name of mobile application launched by Indian government to track the risk of coronavirus infection? So the name of this application is Corona Kavach, and it has been jointly developed by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So the name of this application is Corona Kavach. What is the daily wage per person in MGNREGA, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act scheme, after the relief package of government? So we have already covered this aspect. Now the wage is rupee 202. Previously it was 182. So this was announced during a relief package by Finance Ministry. Operation Namaste is an initiative of which Indian armed force to combat the spread of COVID-19 pandemic? So right answer is Indian Army. It is the operation of Indian Army. Present Army Chief is General Manoj Mukund Narwane. Which technological firm launched a COVID-19 chatbot on its messaging platform in partnership with Union Ministry of Health and MyGov? So this was launched by Facebook. Now recently Facebook was also in news because of Pragati initiative. It is an initiative launched by Facebook, Women Entrepreneurship. A. Ramachandran, who recently passed away in Kerala, was associated with which profession? Right answer is scientist. So renowned scientist in the field of fisheries and ocean studies, Dr. A. Ramachandran passed away recently. Which state has set up interdepartmental committees named Team 11 to fight the COVID-19 pandemic? Right answer is Uttar Pradesh. So, state government of Uttar Pradesh constituted committees named Team 11 to fight the coronavirus spread. Beni Prasad Verma, who passed away recently, was the founding member of which political party? Right answer is Samajwadi Party. So, one of the founding member of Samajwadi Party, and he had served as Union Telecom Minister from 1996 to 1998. The Indian government sold its 66.67% stakes in Kamarajar Port Limited. The question is, this port is located in which state of India? So, it is located in Tamil Nadu, and it is located on the Coromandel coast. Which country has launched a military communication satellite called AEHF satellite, that is Advanced Extremely High Frequency Satellite? Right answer is USA. So this is by USA, and it is Lockheed Martin Advanced Extremely High Frequency Satellite. The Government of India sold its stake in THDC India Limited and NWPCO, that is Northeastern Electric Power Corp, to which Indian public sector undertaking? Right answer is NTPC Limited. Japanese government funding agency JICA has signed a loan agreement with India for projects in which sector? Right answer is rail infrastructure. So recently JICA has signed rupee 15,295 crores loan agreements with India for 3 mega rail infrastructure. As per the recent report of SBI Research EcoRap, what will be the economic growth of India in 2020-2021? Right answer is 2.6%. So the estimated growth is 2.6%.
These were the most important questions of March. Thank you, and that's all for the day.